Hey everybody, welcome in to another episode of the Hunter's Eyes podcast, sports as seen through Marcus Hunter's eyes. And today we're going to talk about several different topics. One of the things we definitely discuss on this channel is Mississippi State athletics. I am a professor here at Mississippi State University. I also played football at Mississippi State, but I also spent 20 years in broadcast news as a news anchor and as a sports anchor. So we will be talking about MSU sports here, but not just Mississippi State sports that cover the state of Mississippi, and also sports that cover the Southeast, the SEC, Conference USA. So this channel will continue to grow. We're also going to be covering some professional sports as well. So definitely looking forward to all of the things we're going to be talking about in the future. So make sure you subscribe and click the like button, and also share this page so that more folks around the Mid-South and the Southeast, and of course the state of Mississippi, can get some sports content about teams here in the state of Mississippi there. So today we're going to be talking about several different topics. We're going to delve into the Mississippi State basketball team's first loss of the season. They were on the road last night at Georgia Tech and they lost that game. So we're going to delve into why the Bulldogs came up short in that one, the number 21 ranked Mississippi State Bulldog men's basketball team, and also talk more about the hiring of the next head coach at Mississippi State University, Jeff Lebby, taking over as the 36th head coach in school history. He has some interesting things to say about what he's going to do on the defensive side of the ball, and some interesting things about who's going to be calling plays for Mississippi State. We know that he was calling plays as the offensive coordinator when he was at Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and UCF. Who's going to be calling those plays now that he's the head coach? He's going to explain that one. We're going to hear from him on the show as well. So I got a lot of topics to get to, but first, thank you all so much for checking us out, and let's get it.
It's disappointing. I'm very disappointed with the outcome. I'm very disappointed in how it got to be to the loss.
All right, so going into last night's game, Mississippi State was an undefeated basketball team at 6-0. Georgia Tech had just lost 2 games in a row, so you knew the home team did not want to drop 3 in a row, so they were going to come out fired up. And the Bulldogs, you would think that they would know that coming in as the number 21 team in the nation, taking on a team that just lost 2 games in a row, that they needed to come out with that energy that Georgia Tech was definitely going to have in the beginning of that game, and they did not come out with that same energy, to the tune that Georgia Tech jumped out to a 13-point lead at halftime, and that was a lead that the Bulldogs never could recover from. Yes, they played much better in the second half, but there was a complete shift in energy in the Bulldogs from the first half to the second half, and they won the second half, outscoring Georgia Tech in the second half by 5 points, but it just wasn't enough because of that big deficit and that big hole that they dug themselves early in that basketball game. So the Bulldogs did not get much from their starting lineup last night, and that kind of shows you that the team did not come out ready to play, because their starters, only 2 guys scored in double digits. But the story of the game for Mississippi State was the freshman Josh Hubbard. Josh, in that game last night, scored 17 points for Mississippi State to lead all scorers. Yeah, he led the starters in scoring. DJ Jeffries only had 10 points, a respectable 10 points. Deshaun Davis scored 12 points, but it just was not enough. Mississippi State was only out-rebounded by 2 in this game, 45-43. But again, there was that energy or lack thereof in the first half. And here's what the Bulldogs head coach Chris Jans had to say after the game about his team's slow start.
Anyone that has a clue about basketball, has a relative idea of what's going on out there, could they not tell the difference between our effort in the first half and the second? And they're all like, yeah. I go, what's the problem? Do you not believe in me? Do you not listen to me? I don't have all the answers, but I told you what we were about to face.
Yeah, and this was also Mississippi State's first true road test, and they only scored 59 points, the lowest total of the season. and they allowed 67 points, which is respectable. They are a good defensive team, but this year they have been much better on the offensive side of the ball, while their defense is still keeping teams low scoring. Their offense has been putting out much more than 59 points a game, so definitely got to figure that out before you get into SEC play, which is coming up here in a couple of weeks. All right, now let's talk about the new head football coach, Jeff Lebby. He's been on campus now for about 48 hours, and he's starting to settle in really good. He's already been doing some press conferences, some national press conferences, making the rounds around Starkville, and he's also been recruiting and hiring staff as well. So Jeff Lebby, one of the things Bulldog fans were hoping was that he would retain at least some of the staff, and it looks like he is doing just that. Chad Bumpus, a former wide receiver here at Mississippi State, went to high school at Tupelo High School, which is about an hour away from Starkville. He was celebrated when he came back to Starkville last year to join Zach Arnett's staff. Well, it looks like Jeff Lebby will be keeping him on staff. Bumpus sent out a tweet yesterday thanking Coach Lebby for trusting in him and keeping him on the staff. And looks like they're already out there on a recruiting trail. Some recruits have commented saying that Lebby and Bumpus have made offers to them and that they're looking forward to possibly visiting Mississippi State. So all of those things are definitely good. But one other person that Jeff Lebby is keeping on his staff, defensive line coach David Turner. Now, this is according to multiple reports that Turner will be retained on the staff. So Lebby is definitely doing what a new head coach should do, filling out his staff, and we are going to be looking forward to seeing how that staff fills out in due time. Now, one of the things we do know, whenever Lebby hires his offensive coordinator will not be calling plays during the game. So Lebby has said that he will continue to call plays as the head coach. He will no longer be the offensive coordinator. He will bring in an offensive coordinator, and Lebby's going to call those plays. Here's what he had to say when asked about that during his initial press conference.
No, I will continue to call it. I think that's important for me as we get started in this thing, having one voice as we move forward. As we're putting together the staff, still having the ability to hire an offensive coordinator from a title standpoint to be able to take some of the day-to-day and be able to go have total control of some of the organizational things that go on with whether it be practice or game planning, so that I do have the ability to be a head coach. So he'll be an incredible extension of me, one that I trust, one that understands the system and has lived in it for sure.
Now, Mississippi State University has also been a school that's been known for their defense. I mentioned in the first video, Fletcher Cox, Chris Jones, Big Play, Darius Slade, just to name a few. I mean, those guys come from right here at Mississippi State University. And it seems like Lebby is understanding, or he does understand, how important defense is to the university. Here's what he said about who he plans to bring in as a defensive coordinator. And one of the things that struck out to me is that he is definitely looking to bring in someone who has experience.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to have a guy come in here that's done it and lived it and has great experience. And again, I'll continue to talk about wanting to hire guys that know what it's supposed to look like inside this league. That's important. I do. I think this league is different than any others, and I want a guy that has had success and had a lot of different experiences being able to go put it together on that side of the ball.
So there you have it. Looking forward to seeing how Lebby's coaching staff plays out, and looking forward to seeing what happens over the next few weeks when it comes to recruiting and the NIL. We are definitely going to be bringing you the latest information on some of the big recruits that Mississippi State is able to land when signing day happens. I know a lot of names are being thrown out there now. A lot of guys are getting offers from Mississippi State that previously were not getting offers from Mississippi State. So it's going to be interesting to see how many of those recruits break their commitments or add Mississippi State to their list of possible schools. Exciting times here in Starkville. Exciting for all sports, not just for football, but men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, soccer did well this year. Looking forward to the softball season. Looking forward to covering sports around the Southeast. Just just like old days. But anyway, we're going to have much more on sports here in Mississippi State and across the Southeast. And as always, remember to click, like, and subscribe, and make sure you share this video so that others can check out the channel and we can get this channel to grow and continue to talk more about what's happening with sports in the state of Mississippi.